We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
The volume.
Here they come again, wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What's good with you, bro?
Man, you know, I'm tripped out because something just I don't know if we ever talked about this, but it just for some reason resurfaced recently. Did we ever talk about how the girl Yvonne Origi, I think that's her name, the girl who plays Molly in Insecure? She was on an interview with Chelsea Handler and said that she was 39 years old and she was still a virgin.
Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about it, but I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Listen, okay, so that's my question for you. At 43 years old, right, you meet a chick and she's 39 years old, right?
Yeah.
And she tell you that she's a virgin and she tells you why.
Yeah.
Do you find any pressure in that?
Pressure from what angle?
Okay, so she's a virgin because she has basically said, no, I'm waiting to be married, right?
Right.
So my question then, right, as somebody who has been at 43, very sexually active, right? And then you go from 30 to now, the day one, 39, and she's 43, and she hasn't been. So then it's just like, what does that look like then for you that you're dating her knowing that the only way that's going to be possible for her to come off them cakes is through marriage? So that is the question that I have for you. How does that look, right, after you've been sexually active? You longer than I have.
Well, here's what I say, right? If we end up getting married, I'd be the best she ever had.
That's true. That's true.
So I like I said, I don't think it's a pressure because I think once you get older, right, you start looking for different connections. And while, sex is super important in relationships, I think that if you're late in the game, for me from that standpoint, I would be trying to see what kind of connection there is. And, there's a lot of things that, you could teach. So
here's the dilemma that I would run into. I understand all that. Respectfully to all of that. To me, the problem that I would have, right, is that let's just say hypothetically, if you with somebody, right, and I would also it would lead me to believe that at 39, so you got a couple of things that I think that are going against you. For one, you got the biological clock on if you want to have kids, right? And so at 43, if you come across somebody who's never, had sex before, no kids, so then that's one, your timetable is then starting to shorten, right? So that's when I said there's pressure. But then the other part to that, right, is that let's just say hypothetically speaking, you might go 2 years dating this person, 3 years dating this person, of getting to know them. And granted, you might know, okay, yeah, I can see myself being married, but actually married to somebody. You're talking 2 to 3 years after you start talking. So now at 43, you 46, 45, 46. And then you also have to have that conversation of kids. And you thinking like, I would have to pass because here's my thing. What if you get these cakes and they've been sitting on the shelf and they not A1?
Bro, this is the thing. I understand everything you're saying, but I think that's also why it's no pressure because you have to determine up front if that's for you. You know what I'm saying? And the conversation about kids, I think that it would feel like that's probably not a priority for her because at this late in the game, like, your options get slimmer. And granted, she's a celebrity, so her pool is a little bit fatter than a regular person who would be 39.
Is
And
it?
is it what?
Is it really fatter? Is it a bigger pool? Because
She's a
I would.
celebrity. Yeah, it absolutely is. There would be people lining up to be with her just for who she is.
I don't disagree with that. But what I am saying is this. Okay. What I'm saying by this, by there being pressure, right? Because my thing is this. If you gonna have me wait, because she says, oh yeah, whoever get this, it's gonna be unleashed. I'm popping heads off. That's cool. I've never met a female who's ever said, nah, this I'm sitting on some trash over here. I'm garbage.
Yeah.
And but so my thing is that what if you get these cakes and you done waited 3 years and they the worst ever though, bro? The absolute worst ever.
And you stuck with it. But like I said, that's why I said from the beginning it's no pressure, because if you already going into it with the understanding of where she's at, you got to match that energy. So
I don't have the energy to match. I don't know, and I agree with my brother Chris Weston out here. She don't know what she got yet. And listen, I'm pretty sure she has a sense, right? If I'm gonna assume that by her not having sex doesn't mean that she hasn't had an orgasm. So she might understand what that feels to her, but I don't think that she even necessarily knows what she's sitting on can do or won't do to another man. And not to say that at 43, I'm not willing to take that kind of risk without references. And that's whether or not I'm married or not. If I'm married, and listen, bro, the only way that would make sense to me is if I'm married with no kids as well. And maybe if you got another me that's floating around at 43 and that's also a virgin, like I think you got to go and find somebody who is truly yoked in you that way. But
apparently, based upon what Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz and all them, we the anomaly, bro, because they on some once a week status. So apparently that wouldn't be a big deal for them. Like they basically said they didn't got all of their stuff out the way. So if they were in that situation, plus I think for me, I would be done having kids anyway. Like I wouldn't be trying to have no more kids.
That's where. So this is where I would look at that as an unfair thing, right? Because if she wanted to have kids, but this particular vow and this has basically held up her having kids. If she wanted to, even me at 46, let's say you got married at 45, you have kids, I would be inclined to still go ahead and say, all right, whatever. My son would be like 21 years old. I'd be out here with a child that's gonna be at some point just a year or two older than my grandchildren. I don't know, bro.
I understand all of that, but I think the thing is though, I think the part that I'm like is that just because she's 39, she's also a grown adult that can have those conversations up front. Like, just the thing is that the kids' conversation is something you can have up front. The expectations is something you can have up front. So it's not like, what I'm saying, she just got older and is not capable of having these types of conversations. So I think a lot of that stuff, once you see whether or not that's something you can agree with or not, I think then you're good to go, is because the communication piece for me.
It's to me, it's not. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. It's not the communication piece. It's not to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point in life, it's all about the sex.
Understood. So that's why that's why I said for you, I understand 100% why it would be a no for you or for Chris Todd.
It's a hard listen, not just no. It's a hard pass. It's a hard pass because I can very easily communicate to you why it would be about the sex, but you can't. What I'm not willing to do, bro, I'm not willing to at 43. Well, I can't be 4. I'm gonna be 43 in 1 month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am not willing to say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this wang on the shelf for 3 years. I'm gonna retire it and bring it back out of retirement after 3 years. I'm not willing to do that. Listen, I don't have the capacity left, right? I don't have the capacity left to halt for 3 years. 3 years, bro. 3 years is what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I get that.
And with no guarantee. Now, if you told me maybe, if you said, listen, after 3 years, this is going to be far better than anything you ever had, ever in your life. I don't know that I would entertain. That would be a no. It wouldn't be a hard no. If you told 3 years is a long time to go, bro.
No, you so old school. You so old school talking about being engaged for 3 years to begin with.
I gotta know. I gotta know. We gotta be to listen. Because listen, having already been married, if for some reason, if I was available, I've said this and I can say this on this show comfortably. It was one and done for me, right? But if for some reason, if I entertained it again, there's no way that it would be for somebody who, because then I would also say, well, were you ever engaged before? And then I got to think about the red flags, because were you engaged before 30? Somebody would have took you off the market. Why hasn't nobody taken you off the market, right? So then it would open up too many questions, though, bro. It would. Nah.
You also old too, so that's why our conversation that don't even matter. You old too.
Listen, I just think I look at it like this, though, bro. I just think that for me, yeah, you can love somebody, right? But I do think that 2, 3 years, 3 years to me, it's one thing that you could say, like Jill Scott. This came up another thing that surfaced, right? Jill Scott says 6 months is all it takes. 6 months. And it almost implied like in 6 months she's gone, right? But 6 months is when she thought, oh, I know that I love you enough to where if I don't know within 6 months, we can end this whole thing right here.
Right.
But I'm talking about to know, to find out enough of somebody's BS to figure out I can live with these things. I cannot live with these things. 2 to 3 years, I would think. That's about right to me. If you date somebody for 2 years, you may be able to be engaged to them for.
I can see that.
6 months for what? To date, to marry?
To figure out something. Yeah.
No, ain't no way. Ain't no way. You
old.
Wait, no, wait. 6 months. You mean to tell me that in 6 months of you meeting somebody?
No. That's not what I said. 6 months in dating a person.
Dating. Okay. So how long do you date a person before you feel comfortable with being engaged to them?
There's not. I don't see anything wrong with 6 months, bro. I think. See, you got to understand. You have to understand. You're talking to somebody who's been divorced, so that my thinking is accelerated, right? So if you were divorced, you would be coming off an accelerated thinking, because there are things that you now know that you're not going to put up with in your new marriage. So there's questions and things that you're going to find out quicker than you would when you were just dating and wasn't married before.
I don't even gotta know. No. I see it opposite. And let me tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I don't got to be on an accelerated program. For me, you would have to be trying to convince me of a reason why I should want to. Like I got to be convincing myself of why I should, because I'm okay with not. So here's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is this. Okay, let's say you dating somebody and you dating somebody for 6 months, right? 6 months. You think after dating somebody for 6 months that you think within 6 months you would know
whether or not you want to marry them. Yes, bro. I don't know why that's so hard for you to believe.
No.
Bruh, I'm telling you, it's very possible to know whether or not you want to marry somebody in 6 months. It's very possible.
Ain't no way.
You owe.
Ain't no way. Listen, no. Ain't no way.
Bruh,
There's no.
You already know.
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think that it's impossible. So let me say that. I'm just saying
it's not possible for you. That's what you're saying.
It's not. Well, listen. If I became single, Megan Good became single at the same time, we gone. 6 months, 4 months, it don't matter. We probably going to Vegas. I'm calling you, I'm flying you out because I'm jumping the broom with that ASAP. Okay, but that aside, so I'm saying it's possible. What I'm saying though, bro, what I'm saying is this. I think that you're setting yourself up for failure.
I don't think so.
Listen.
That's you.
Listen, Ace, this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you tell me, right, today, November 7th, 2023, that you're single, you're completely single, and you told me this weekend you just met somebody, if by the summertime you tell me you thinking about marrying this woman, and by this same time next year, you're all the way married, throughout the entire time, I would always voice my concern that this doesn't seem like it's going to be something that's a sustainable relationship long term. Because my question to you is that this is a complete stranger. You don't know her. You never met her. So you can't tell me within a year that you want to spend the rest of your life with a complete stranger that you only know, because in a year, they're still putting up the facade. They're still putting up the best. They're sitting out there representative to show you the best version of them. I just don't know.
Charles,
a year?
I'm telling you that you can know whether you want to marry someone after dating them for 6 months. It is very logical and very possible.
I don't listen. Listen. It's possible. Logical though, I just don't understand. I don't understand, bro. There's no way, Ace, that you can tell me if any of my boys told me today that they're dating somebody, and if within a year they say, yeah, we about to go ahead and get married, not playing, but if it's a year, they've known this person for a full calendar year, they ready to marry them, I would really be like, I gotta meet this person, because that's just that. How much do you really know about somebody? Enough? You think you know enough to say, all right, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life? Like, I don't think that that's enough information to make a sound decision, bro.
Again, that's your opinion, bro.
And let alone the fact that she is 39 years old and have never gave up them cakes to somebody, though, bro.
Wait, don't be mixing the two conversations.
This is how I'm tying them together.
But that's not. No, we're not tying that together.
No. We can keep them separated. But I'm saying these are the kind of. This is what I'm saying. These are the kind of things that can happen when you talk about one thing, and then you say who. Like, nah, bro. I just don't think. Yes, Charles, it's possible.
Charles, even if you met a 39-year-old like that, within a couple of weeks, you would know whether or not, if that's what I'm saying is, like you're saying, a 39-year-old virgin, you already know if that's not what you want to do. You ain't even dated them from jump. That's not for you. So That's what I'm saying. Like, you're making it seem like this is so unreasonable, and it can be. But look, we 20 minutes in, bro, and we ain't even started this music. Let's get on it.
Let's do it, bro. I can't fathom it, bro.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube pages. We are and Facebook. We are live on both platforms at the same time. You click on the bell, you click on the notification, you get the heads up.
Relationship to one that's already in progress, and then finding out that your wife has had an OnlyFans for over a year. What you doing about it, bro?
Okay, let's put more context to this. So Joe Smith, former NBA basketball player, finds out that his wife has an OnlyFans page. Now, what I don't know is how he found out.
I'm gonna give you that.
Okay, give me that.
There's other so being that he was in the NBA, he was used to making millions of dollars, probably took care of her. And then as him being out of the NBA, his money went a little bit shorter, right? So they're having some difficulties doing this, doing that. And from what I understand, she was previously an adult film star.
Okay.
And then so they started having some money problems. He starts cheating. And apparently his side piece is the one that told him that his wife had an OnlyFans. So she's like, look, the reason why you don't know that I've had an OnlyFans because you ain't been paying attention to a lot of stuff that I've been saying. I've been asking you for this or saying this. And she's like, look, at the end of the day, I've had to take care of myself before. I'm going to make sure that we're good. So, and she's like, look, I'm not doing any content with anybody else. I'm doing content by myself. So I don't see what the issue is. And he's like, look, we a family. You should be talking to me, telling me whoopty whoopty whoop. I should be in the loop knowing that you out here. You for the streets right now.
Okay, listen, bro. What the hell is you doing that you don't know that your girl has blocks of time in her day dedicated to her OnlyFans? Like, how you not know that? Like, that's what I said. Like, listen, first off, Joe Smith was cold in college, though, bro. I remember in high school, Joe Smith was a player year at Maryland, though, man. And he was cold for some years in the NBA. So that's first and foremost. Let me say that. Okay, so listen, bro. There is no way that I'm gonna be cool with my wife on any level having some OnlyFans page, right? But Nick talking about she got one over here. She said she got an OnlyFans page. Listen, I think my problem with that is this. This is my. So I look at that from this standpoint. I think that for me, it's a problem that I would have with you dating somebody from the adult film industry, right? It would be the same problem that I would have with dating a stripper, right? It's cool you dating them, but then it's like when you try to lock them down, the internet is permanent, right? So unlike a stripper, unless you were there, that's the only way you know. But when you talk about adult films, somebody can always refer back to that. And so my thing is that I wouldn't have gotten into that situation to begin with. But then if you get into that situation and you say, this is a relationship now, but you got to give up all of that, right? We can't be doing that. I guess I kind of, even though that's not what I would do, I understand it. But then if you're out of that industry, you're out of that field altogether, and you dip back into it, then that's where I have a problem with it. Because I feel like if I had to find out, regardless of if I wasn't on my P's and Q's, I had to find out, right? So,
but see, this goes back, like, okay, that's kind of where, think about it from the standpoint, right? We don't know, everybody doesn't know the history of the person they've been with. I don't even care how much you ask a person how many bodies they got. It ain't like they finna tell you all of them, bro.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Okay, let's talk about that. Do you count the bodies from the adult film industry, or do you only include the bodies from outside of that? So is the adult film work and you include the body count for everything that's non-work related? Or so you got 100, you own film with 100 bodies, 100 different dudes, but outside of the adult film, which is her work, you only have been with 5 guys. Is that 105 bodies, or is that 5 bodies and 100 workmen?
No, listen, I don't know what his definition of it is. For me,
what's yours?
Again, I don't think that I would be able to date somebody in that industry. Okay. Like, so I don't know what the count. I think as a human person, you'd have to separate it, that's work. Now, as a human person, are you going to be able to? Probably not, because your brain is going to wonder. So, which again, that's just not for me. That's just not for me. But at the same token, it goes back to what I'm trying to say, as you're not going to know all the bodies that the person you with has had either. So I'm saying it's like, if you're basically starting a new relationship once you get with the person, that's where y'all's relationship starts. Whatever happened in the past is the past.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, bro. Let's just say hypothetically, right? If hypothetically you had an idea of how many bodies, okay, and by this idea, you had an idea based off of how many guys, how many relationships that she's been in, right? Okay, so then here's my thing. With respect to her not telling you about all of them, you had an idea. How many over the numbers in your head would you be okay with? If you thought,
I'm gonna be honest.
If I thought, maybe, if you dating somebody, because here's my thing. I think that the older we've gotten, the less relevant body count has become. Right. But let's just say you're in your early 30s, right? Maybe late 20s. You're with somebody and you know that they've had maybe 3 or 4 long-term relationships. So you know that 3 or 4 bodies. So if you got those 3 or 4 in your head and you think like, you know what, I got more than that. But if you just said, dang, I ain't know about this, like how many would you be surprised?
See, that's what I'm saying. That to me, like I said, even when I was in my 20s and stuff like that, that was irrelevant to me. Like, my thing is if I'm choosing to be with you, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. You got to be careful on the questions you ask, because let's just say that if your person told you, hey, prior to you, this is your late 20s, early 30s, whatever, there's been 10. So you know in your brain, that probably means it's 16 to 20.
Right. But what if it was actually 30? And you just assumed that it was 16 to 20.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That doesn't bother me though. Like that's not a.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It wouldn't bother me now, right?
But it would have bothered you then.
Yeah, at 25, 30 is probably when it started to matter less. 35 was when I was just like, all right, yeah, it don't. But it would have mattered to me. It would have mattered to me at 25.
But that's because we also logical though, right? Like we start doing the count, like, okay, if she started at like knowing like if you started at 18 and you had this number, then it was like 2 a year. Like, you know,
how many per year?
Yeah.
How many per year? That's my thing. It's not, it's my big, this is my big thing. I need to know in my head. So this is my thing. I make decisions, life-changing decisions based around an intercept, a slope of where my head and where my heart intersects. And when those two connect at that point, it's a good decision that I can live with, right? Regardless of the outcome, I could say I was comfortable with that decision. Okay, so with that being said, I would need to know ahead of time if I'm dealing with someone who's just a serial relationship, in or out person, or the whole of Babylon. And somehow there's an intercept between that, right? And there's an acceptable number to me. And I just think that what makes that make sense is because we know as men, yeah, you could be successful with how many girls you laying down, but you know that a woman has to accept your game, right? Your wordplay, your bars. She got to take them bars. And we feel that for a woman, it's easier to get laid than it is for a guy. So if you've made yourself that easy in my 20s, after 25 to 30, kind of got a problem with that. If I'm starting to consider you marriage material, I don't know that I want somebody who's knocked off 10 in a month, 10 in a year. That's a new guy taking you to Pound Town every month. I don't know if there's somebody that I'm willing to go ahead and say, yeah, you don't get that title from me though, bro.
Chris, I think the answer to your question is just experience, bro. That's what that is. I don't know, bro. Like I said,
10 different guys in one. I still believe, bro. I believe that 10 guys in 1 year is not marriage material. You just were the guy that was feeling her more than everybody else. But she's not marriage material, bro. You like the cakes. You kind of like her personality more than the other 9 guys. But 10 guys, bro, if you letting 10 guys take you to Pound Town every month, that just means that you're too easy to be my wife. Too easy to be somebody who I would consider giving my last name. Especially having already been married. It's hard for me to tell you, yeah, you know what, Ahmad, I'm number 12 for her for the year.
But you never tell me that though. Like that. That is not even a normal conversation.
Listen, I haven't had to tell you that because I haven't had to tell you that.
But here's the thing though. It wouldn't even matter to me. It would be irrelevant to me because my thing is that there are circumstances for everything. My thing is that I trust you enough. If you thought that she was the one, then that would be the one.
I would be looking at you like this.
Of course you would, because you judgmental like that.
I am. I'm not gonna lie. I am. I'm working on myself.
You've been working for a long time.
I have been working on myself. Brother, listen. I'm gonna tell you this. All I'm saying, and I know that with women, I think that the best thing a woman can do for a guy who thinks like I think and have to offer what I feel I have to offer is to make yourself less scarce in that regard. To me, scarcity makes you more valuable, bro. You can't be a Lamborghini with 500,000 miles, bro. It just doesn't work that way for me. It's not the same value, bro.
Depends on when you buy the Lamborghini.
It does. Listen, If I bought a Lamborghini today, and within a year, if I ran and I got 100,000 miles, you can't sit here and think that our Lambos are created equally because they're not. We bought them the same year.
What I'm saying is, obviously, if you bought a Lamborghini the year that it was made, then you would expect for the miles to be low. But you understand the later on that you go on, if there's a Lamborghini that was in 2018, you would expect that it's gonna have some miles on it. So my thing is the expectation, if a young lady, the older she gets, the more body she's going to have.
Yeah, but that's true. But if you buy a 2018 Lambo and you got 500,000 miles on it, I'll be like, yeah, it's a Lambo, but you've been riding the hell out of this damn Lambo. This Lambo isn't meant for every day. Listen, this Lambo isn't meant to be driven to work. This Lambo isn't meant to be dropping your kids off at school. It ain't meant to be an Uber ride, bro. It ain't meant for everybody. That's my point, though, man.
But a woman is everyday use, though. She ain't like gonna be sitting on the shelf like a Lambo.
Listen, I'm just telling you. I feel like, provided that I was single, which is probably never. I'm not gonna say probably. It's never gonna happen. But I feel like I have a lot to offer. I consider myself a good catch. And I think if that's indeed the case, my advice would be scarcity, bro.
Okay. What about your body count, though?
So, and that's a good question. It's a double standard, right? I would think that my body count allows for the appropriate amount of experience. Right. But here's my thing about it. The equivalent to that, because I think that women are more tied to emotions versus the physical aspect of it, that would be equivalent to me of telling you within 2 years, I had 6 serious relationships. Right? Like, why do you get so easily attached that hard? Like, I know there's love hard, but why are you so easily jumping into relationships like this? 6 serious relationships in 2 years is a whole lot.
To each his own, bro. Like I said, it's tomato, bro.
It's not.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, potatoes. 2 different things.
Bro, tell me about this academics and Saucy Santana thing, because I only know, what?
One of the most entertaining things, and this is probably one of the most entertaining. I don't know why I'm so wildly amused by this. So DJ Academics, who his brand has somewhat been associated with him kind of having beefs with different rappers or whatever. But, it seems like more so over the past couple of years, he has especially been going in on some of the women, right? It was almost like he had a personal agenda to address the hot girl movement. He's single-handedly been doing it. But he's specifically been going at Young Miami. He's been going at a lot of the females, heavy. And a lot of people have been saying, yo, why ain't no men coming to the defense of these women, right? So finally, Saucy Santana has enough of it. And Saucy Santana goes at DJ Academic and says, nah. You want to see me? We can handle this outside. Don't get me being gay, get you messed up. I'm from the streets. We can handle this outside. We ain't got to come to your studio. And Saucy Santana goes on to say, I'm going to beat your tail. And when I'm done, I'm going to clap your cheeks, right? Because that's how I look at you. You that much of a bitch, I'm going to clap your cheeks when I'm done, when I get done beating you up. And it almost had me thinking damn, did Saucy Santana say that he gonna rape him after he gets up? And listen, so Academic responds back, and I wondered, how do you respond back to this if you act? Because you know how the LGBTQ community is. They'll jump on you and they trying to get you canceled and up out of there fast. So I was like, how does he maneuver around that, right? And so he kind of gets on his response. And you can tell he's so much so that he get teary-eyed. he has the Terrence Howard voice when he's sitting here talking about it, because there's stuff that I can tell that he wants to say that he can't say. And Ace Kennedy, I've always thought this is a no-win situation for him, because it's almost like how they say in jail: if you fighting somebody who's gay, you don't get no points off of beating up somebody gay. But at the same time, if you lose that, right, that's a whole different thing. With that being said, though, bro, if that, you would never be able to get over that. If something like that happens, Saucy Santana and DJ Academic gets into a fight with all the people who have threatened to put hands on DJ Ack. If it was Saucy Santana that actually did it, that's one thing. But if Saucy Santana was even did anything, bro, like what the hell? Is that out of bounds? What is that within bounds? I don't know, but I'm thoroughly entertained by the idea behind this, though, bro.
There's really no win-win situation. The thing is that, meaning this, right? You were first talking about a woman to begin with, so you already is getting clowned for that, right?
Facts.
So if somebody threatens to fight you, at the end of the day, Saucy Santana is still a man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, but again, still no win-win situation, because let's say you fight him and you win. Okay, how much? But if you fight him and you lose, what, like it's like it's no win situation. And then of course Queen Latifah jumped in it, so it's like, Act just kind of figure out how he wants to move, bro. And he doesn't really follow any guidance anyway. Like, people give him constructive criticism all the time about how he did stuff. I mean, Drake had to press him about SZA. So it's like that's just how he moves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you already are on brand, this is already your brand, then I don't think at this point what is it really going? It's just, at the end of the day, it's just going to be entertainment.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. It's a lose, but it's a bigger loss. Is it okay? This is what I'm saying. I don't know, how do you measure the bigger loss? Let's say he gets into a fight with Saucy Santana, and then he loses, right? Is that worse than him getting to a fight with Saucy Santana, winning, and then he get canceled because they came at him?
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
So much pressure. Now that's his revenue that's affected. So now your pockets is. So I don't know what's a bigger loss on that, though, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It is a lose. But that's why for him, the win part would just be walk away from it. Because the thing is that you're not gonna win either way. Like you said, you're gonna take that financial hit either way. So you might as well just let it go.
If he says something again, with that being said, I would absolutely love nothing more than to see Saucy Santana clap back on behalf of Young Miami, because I think that he said something like Diddy was in his DM, like, yo, chill out or whatever. But nobody has been out no guy has been out and been more vocal about this than Saucy Santana. So I can appreciate that. But I think the part that I'm tripped out is I would totally love if something came up again and Saucy Santana was like, listen, I'm still here with it. I'm still here with the same energy. Listen, maybe it's just from a sheer entertainment value, bro. But I absolutely love the response, though. Absolutely love it. But because it's the only time I've seen him almost at a complete loss for word and loss for what to do.
Yeah. And didn't some kind of way Whack 100 get in the mix of it?
Nah, I don't know. Whack 100 always finds a way to insert himself into something. I can't keep up with all the stuff that he's
doing. All right. Well, allegedly that, because I think that's what I heard too. Don't quote me on it. Other entertainment news, Draco jumped out the window again on J. Cole. Basically J. Cole was talking to Yachty on the podcast, and he was just basically saying, like, look, bro, back in the day when I was younger, you know, when I heard songs like Soulja Boy, I'm thinking like, nah, this ain't the move here. And he said, but I had to get, and he said, I'm gonna be honest, even when I heard your class of rappers, I was like, nah, this ain't the move. And he said I had to realize that I was a hater. Like, I had to call myself a hater because it was like, I really do kind of rock with these songs. Like, it's a different vibe. It's something different from what I do. But at the same time, it's rocking. The club's rocking. The people are loving it. So I had to realize I was a hater. But that boy Draco didn't hear it that way, bro. He was like, why you out here telling everybody that you don't rock with me? And back when I was growing up, we ain't listen to you either. We ain't listen to you. We ain't listen to Jay-Z. Like, y'all rappities out here doing this, that, and the other, and that ain't the move. That ain't the way. So it's just Draco was just out there, bro, going bananas. What is up with this beef, bro? Should J. Cole even say anything?
I don't think he can. Listen, what I love, so I guess apparently Nicki Minaj kind of jumped in, and kind of got and ringed it back in. But listen, what I love about this, every year Soulja Boy has one of these epic rants, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like he didn't have one going toward the end of the year, and his alarm must have went off and said, "Oh yeah, I'm due for one. I got to get one off." But I think that the part that I thought was funny is how he started out, like, yeah, man, the homie, the homie J. Cole, he was like trying to be real humble, and then it was just like, boom, hell no, I'm turning up on him. So that was one thing, though, bro. And it almost reminded me of when he was talking about Kanye, when he was like, who cut your hair? Who cut your hair? And I thought that part was hilarious. So I love the level of turn up and how he went from 0 to 100. But I thought that the part that got me is he said, you almost 40. You almost 40. Go have some kids and start a family. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, damn. What does he think about somebody like me, though, bro? I said, man.
He said, and I ain't out here telling nobody that your dreads look dirty, that they look like they smell.
I thought it was hilarious. I don't know where it ranks in the top 5, because I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and put this in the top 5 Soulja rants. We gotta rank we gotta rank the top 5 Soulja Boy rants, but this one is probably one of them ones, though, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah. Bro, so what's going on, man? Let's talk about football for a little bit. It is where you want to start?
Okay, listen.
Go ahead.
No, listen. Here's what I think is funny. Okay, so I think that this year in the NFL, and this is gonna sound crazy, I think that this year in the NFL, I don't know if it's parity within the league, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm picking Philadelphia and Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
But here's what's crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if neither one of those teams actually got there, because right now, I don't see any particular team that I think, oh yeah, they unbeatable, they plow through. I think the opposite. I think this year, every team has had a nice heaping helping of humble pie, bro. Mm-hmm. Every time you thought your team was on a roll, somebody came and washed them. They lost a game they shouldn't have. The quarterback played like trash. Like, every team to me has been humbled, to where even the Eagles have been humbled. I don't think that while the Eagles are 8-1, they 8-1 just don't seem like the same 8-1 as last year. Like, I think that even last year, well, I'll take that back. Last year, I thought that the first 6 games that the Eagles played, they won a lot of them, could have lost every single one of them. This time around, the same. I just think that even though they got the same record, it just the dominance don't feel the same. And I think that even though Kansas City has the better record in the AFC, it feels like they're better than everybody because they've experienced the ups and downs, and everybody else is feeling they've been there. But I just don't really see nobody where it's a no. There's no way they.
But the thing about Philly
Kansas
though,
City.
at least they're finding ways to win. You know, that's showing the level, the caliber of team that they are. Granted, it hasn't been dominant wins, but you know, they are it's still 8-1. You know what I'm saying? What about the Raiders, bro? They fired your boy in the middle of the season, and apparently the team was here for it, bro. They was celebrating after the one win. They was in that thing with cigars and everything.
I couldn't tell if they were celebrating the win or celebrating the coach getting fired, bro. It felt like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And listen, I think that here's the thing. What I don't know will happen. I don't know that Antonio Pierce, right, has been coaching long enough to garner the kind of cachet that DeMeco Ryans has. Like when people, when DeMeco Ryans was out there with the 49ers, people thought that it was a matter of time before he became a head coach based off of what he was building, what he was doing with their defenses. And I don't know that Antonio Pierce has been there. If I'm not mistaken, bro, I think Antonio Pierce either got fired or got let go as the defensive coordinator for the Arizona State Sun Devils when what's my boy, you play to win the game was out there, right? So I don't know, but I can tell you that I listen, but I don't want to see Josh McDaniels is one of those people when they talk about privilege. He is one. Like, dog, he got the job at the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Got fired. And then years later, he linked back up with Tom Brady. And then he was going to leave to go to the Colts. Had a deal in place. Spurned the Colts. And it seemed like he was doing it for a money move because it looked like he was looking for a legacy hire. Whenever Belichick's gone, just make me as a guy. Got more money with them, and then it was cool. And so for him to keep getting all of these chances, though, bro, I'm just like, I'm tired of it. He is one of those guys that maybe it's a light. He's an NFL lifer. Just stay a coordinator, bro. Like, you clearly aren't a head coach, though, bro. Stop it.
I don't know, bro. It definitely feel like they was happy to see that boy go, bro.
They was happy. Like I said, it seemed like, listen, I'm inclined to believe. I know that it was the Bears, and I know that y'all were on y'all backup quarterback, but I'm inclined to believe that if Josh McDaniels was there, that the Bears would have beat him. But I think that what's crazy to me about it is that there's all the stories that come out now about how the players have been, displeased with him, talking like he kind of already checked out. So people have already been talking though, bro. So I think that it was real big though that Mark Davis let him go, considering that and let go the offensive coordinator as well. I think that when you talk about the total compensation, like a lot of times, man, like NFL owners don't want to eat that coach's salary though, man, because then you got to admit that you did a bad hire though, bro. So I think that it was big, but I interesting though, bro. This has been a weird season though, man. Very weird season.
Yeah. So we finally had the James Harden experiment at the Clippers. After one game, where your head at with this?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I feel bad for the Clippers because I think that you now have introduced a dynamic that I don't think that was needed, right? I don't think that the Clippers, that James Harden makes the Clippers exponentially better than any team in the West, right?
100%.
Because of him.
Yeah.
Because of him. So like it would be, it's not like KD going to the Suns, KD going to the Warriors, where it just puts you over the top or it just makes your team exponentially better, right? I don't look at him going to the Clippers in that regards.
No, I definitely think James Harden was an insurance policy. They are basically saying, listen, we know PG and Kawhi are subject to go down at any moment, right? So we need a backup plan. Russ is pretty sturdy. He typically don't miss much. And this is a time to get a generational talent within James Harden, knowing that all four of these dudes is on their last leg of their contract. So Bombers basically going all in. So, they definitely have to play better in order for me to even buy into it. I get it's the first game. James ain't really been in practice like that. You know what I'm saying? And you already know our boy Russ ain't putting up with no BS from him. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. I need to see more footage though.
Yeah, this is one of the problems that I have. I've gone on record accepting that I'm a James Harden hater, right?
Yep.
With that being said, more hate on James Harden. What I don't like, bro, what I don't like about what James Harden, when he came and in his interview, he basically felt like in Philly, he was on a leash, right? And he felt like he's not a system player. He is a system, right? So what I gather from that, reading in between the lines, right? Reading in between the lines, when he was going back, when he wanted to go back to Houston, he wanted to go back to Houston so that he could go back to doing him. Being score first, he thinks that he probably can average 30-some points. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I honestly do believe James Harden, with enough shots, can average 30 points a game, right? But I think that when you force your way out of Houston, and when you force your way out of, and you go and join other superstars, and even if the long-term goal was to get to play with Joel Embiid in Philly, and then you force your way out of that, when you go to, I told you, when you go to join somebody else and be the number 2 guy and no longer be the number 1 guy, right? That puts you in a different bucket of guys. So I think that the part that got me the most is this. When people were saying people would never let Russ hear the end of it. When Russ like, I just want to go and get to playing Russ ball. I want to do me. And people were like, well, listen, that's how you were getting all these turnovers. That's how you haven't won a championship, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't hear that when it came to James Harden when he said that. And when I look at that, I'm not going to lie. On some level, I think that Russ had to be humbled when people say it's a possibility Russ might not even be in the league. I don't think that James Harden is humble enough yet to look and say, let me look myself in the mirror to say, I got to do something different. I believe I'm the same player, but my output is saying everybody doesn't like that same player. That same player isn't conducive to winning championships. And when I listened to his interview with him, I said, oh, yeah, the Clipper season is done, bro. I thought they had a better chance of winning it without him. I get that one of them can go down. You can fill another one in for the scoring. I just think that it's a dynamic that I just don't think that was necessary, bro.
I don't think it was necessary either. But I want to give it some more games before I really put my foot on it. But it right now it's just not fitting right now. But that's again first game, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. What do you think about this in-season tournament? It's the first time they're trying it. It's almost like the March Madness of the NBA.
Kind of hate it. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get it, and maybe that's why I don't hate it. I'm very traditional when it comes to NBA. So I don't get the intention of the play-in tournament. I get the play-in tournament at the end of the season. I think that that's cool. But I think that it's unnecessary to me. It's James Harden going to the Clippers. It's so not necessary. I don't think that it was needed to get more spectators. I mean, you already add new jerseys. You already adding all these new basketball courts. Like, come on, bro. You ain't got to do this.
Well, the only thing I will say, Dog, that OKC Golden State game, I was upset, bro. Here's my thing. Because if it had been a regular game, right, and the goaltending thing happened, I would have been upset. But I'd have been like, it's early in the season. Okay. But now you talking about this as an in-season tournament. I need y'all to deliberate longer. I need y'all to call in the replay booth. And this BS answer of, well, when he touched the rim, it didn't affect the way the ball going in. That ain't the point. He touched the rim. He was a part of the team going to score the basket. It should have been goaltending. Let them boys go to overtime. Whoever wins in overtime win the game. That's the way I feel.
Yeah. Look, so for Justin, what I mean by traditional, I look at basketball. I don't want to say I'm a soul absolute, but I think I'm a basketball purist, right? I try to be a historian for NBA, right? And from that, I look at things like I don't have a problem with centers that don't shoot threes. I don't think that people, it's something to my eye doesn't still sit well to see so many threes being shot a game. Like I don't care to watch a 3-point contest in the NBA. I'm okay with seeing Giannis score 30 and 25 of them come from dunks and hook shots. Like that's still okay to me. Like I respect more that somebody is an all NBA player on offense, but then also makes all defense. Like it says something to me about playing both sides of the ball that you're not a defensive specialist, right? Or just a scoring specialist. Like, so I like for that, that's something I'm traditional in the sense of like I think that there are certain things that I like about the NBA that I don't want to see change. And so this is one that I'm cool with missing.
So you don't like coaches challenges either?
I do like coaches challenges because I think that what I like about coaches challenges is that it counterbalances in situations human error, right? There are sometimes that certain calls can be so egregious, and if you don't have a way to challenge them, I think that part I get that. But I guess but things that I just am that I like, things that I like, changes that I do like, right? Changes that I do like where you allow players now to wear whatever color shoes they want to. So you don't have to have a shoe that matches uniform. You can have purple shoes on with a green jersey or blue. I like that aspect of it, right? But there are changes that I don't think impact the game because I like the rules of basketball, right? Like I think that I like that dunks to me show athleticism, right? That you can only see in the NBA. I think that 3-point shooting is very skilled, but I think that you take away from what I think makes the NBA such a unique sport and brand if it's just shooting threes and everybody learns to do that.
Yeah,
like,
but I think the evolution of the game happened though, bro.
I agree that it is evolution. But what I'm also saying is that I can accept the evolution. But what I don't like about the evolution is the notion that everybody has to add shooting threes in their bag in order for them to be looked at as a well-rounded scoring threat. Like I don't want to see, like this. I don't want to see Anthony Davis shooting 6 threes a game, nor do I want to see Carl Anthony Towns shooting 6 threes a game. Like, I don't want to see your tallest player that far away from the paint. Like, for me, I understand that that's the evolution of the game, but from a traditional perspective, I'm okay if your center shoots jump shots and not threes, right? That's okay. You can stretch the floor without shooting threes. That's all I'm saying.
You can keep that one.
I get it. Don't get me wrong. I totally I totally get it. Like you think about it though, right? There are think about it like this, right? There are specialists now where somebody only shoots threes. All they do is shoot threes, right? Buddy Hield, right? Like I think something like 70% of his shots are threes.
Okay, you ain't finna just leave out Isaiah Joe.
Okay. Okay, true. What I'm saying is this. Where is the rebounding specialist? The person, the Dennis Rodman, who get 20 rebounds every game. The Ben Wallace, who gets 20 rebounds every game, right? Or the shot like Chet. Chet says, "No, I'm working hard to get 5 blocks a game." That's impressive. That aspect of his game is more impressive to me than him shooting threes, because to me, he's 7'1", and when you trying to get 5 blocks, that means you have no regard and you don't have a care in the world with getting dunked on, because to block 5 shots a game, you're going to get bodied. One game, you're going to get dunked on. And to me, that's two-way playing to me, and I respect that. I respect the tradition of that, though, bro. So I don't care that Chet hits. I like his 5 shots, his 5 his 5 shot blocks a game more than I would care to see him make 5 threes in a game. It does nothing for me, to my basketball eye.
Yeah. Well, look, since you got an eye for everything, why you ain't tell me that Keith Lee was out there shutting down your city?
Listen here. Listen here, bro. Can I tell you, you don't even understand. You don't understand what he exposed that's been going on in Atlanta forever, and nobody ever said anything. People just accepted it. So most of the new restaurants, every restaurant out here seems to have these weird, quirky rules, right? So the one thing that I don't know if you remember, but even Chicken and Waffles, Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles, had house rules where they wouldn't let you come in there wearing a baseball cap. You would think, hell, I'm coming in here to spend my money. I can wear whatever the hell I want to wear. But everybody had these really weird, quirky rules that you just say, hey, if you want to eat there, you got to abide by the rules. And things that I think that he brought up specifically were places like ordering for takeout, which has changed. So I think that what's crazy about it is that since COVID has happened, more of these rules have basically came out. And I think that people have added these rules as a way for them to, like little things. The takeout rule, they don't do takeout on Saturdays. They do that because they want to cater more toward the people that are dining in, focus on the dining experience, rather than you properly staff so that you can accommodate that, right? They just figured, hell, we can't get enough bodies in here, so we go to work. So we're going to focus on the people that are in work. But although this has been happening, especially since COVID, but it's been for as long as I can remember, most restaurants had house rules that I've never seen anywhere else. Dress code, you can't wear this, you can't wear that. All of these things though, bro. And I love that he put Atlanta on notice. But it also shows you what the power of social media really is and word of mouth.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we kind of went through something similar with Darius Cooks out here. But he ran into another juggernaut in Corey Cashmere. So we had our little battle with food critics. So I understood quite well what y'all was going through, because it just happened to us probably 2 weeks before y'all.
Oh man, listen, man. I think that, to be honest with you though, bro, like what I follow Keith Lee. I've been following him for a long time, and usually he only does food reviews for places in Vegas. And I thought that it was cool that he was kind of doing a road tour. So the first place I saw him do one to was New Orleans. And to him, New Orleans kind of set the standard because everybody was great, very hospitable, the food was good, the whole 9 yards. And then he went to Chicago, ruffled a couple of tail feathers because of how he ranked chicken spots. And Chicago takes their chicken very serious, right? But when he came to Atlanta, he was out here for one music fest. But I think that was one of those things to where if I would have knew that he was going to be here, I would have been waiting. I would have been just waiting. But the fact that it happened so organically, bro, that's what I think. Was dope.
But that's the thing, though. That's again, if you follow him, then you know that's how he works. You know, he sends his family in to get the food so that he doesn't get the special treatment, so he can see how your establishment runs on a regular basis. And so I think that's dope. Like, how do you treat your regular customers?
Man, listen, a lot of these restaurants in Atlanta, though, bro, treat it like, no, it's your pleasure to enjoy my dining experience here. Not, I have the pleasure of hosting you, right? I'm going to work. I'm going to make sure that you have the best experience for your hard-earned money. It's the opposite out here at a lot of these places, though, man. So, like I said, I thought that it was, like I said, very, very, it's been that way forever in Atlanta. And here's the thing about it. The places that I think that he's highlighted, the Real Milk and Honey, they have a couple of different ones throughout Atlanta, Metro Atlanta now. The one that he went to was, I think, the original one. But all of them are that same way. They have their own little quirky things, so bro. And it's amazing how you could go to a place that charges premium for their pricing and not get premium service, bro. It's absolutely amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. The food is exceptional. And I personally think that Atlanta has a better food scene than what I think some people would give it credit for. Usually people talk food scene. Chicago has an A1 food scene. DC has great variety in their food scene, A1. And I think that people kind of not put Atlanta as high up. But I think that ultimately, though, bro, it's the dining experience. And I think that doesn't always match the food. And it's different. Atlanta's food scene has changed, though, bro. Over the last, I would say maybe 5 years, bro, it changed to this new scene.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith Lee, though, man.
Yeah,
I like what he did, though, man. Yeah.
And shout out to all the black businesses trying to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do have rules, like you said, at the end of the day, you have choices. So if you want to eat there, follow their rules or whatever, but you have a choice.
I thought that Keith Lee was more polite than what some other food reviewers and critics have been.
Darius Cooks, that's his thing. Like he gonna roast, like he wants to get that roast in. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I'm not familiar with it though.
Bruh, listen, we'll talk about that offline, bruh.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, what you got up for the week?
Yo, so this week, man, I'm hopefully going to be reviewing some final edits because your boy is dropping some new music on next week, on next Tuesday, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna be dropping the single covers for that, though, man. A couple little things. So yeah, this week I'm just prepping them, bro. What's good with you?
Bruh, I am like feverishly working on this doggone murder mystery. So I got to get that done because it's coming up soon. I'm super excited about it. I'm getting pretty far on it now. Like it's starting to roll a little bit, so I'm excited about it. So yeah, just doing that, spending some time with the fam, and it's holiday season, so everybody's doing that. So yeah, but just trying to get this murder mystery done is the biggest thing for me.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I maybe because we're in the new dwelling, but I'm excited about. I always get excited around the holidays, but I'm getting more excited now than this time around, man. Yeah, I'm excited. This is my time of the year, though, bro.
That's what's up. Well, let's get on out of here, bro. We appreciate y'all for watching, and for those that watch the replay, we appreciate you as well, man. We love y'all. Slash, bro.
It doesn't matter what your name
podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers podcast. The greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Yep.